I speak with a lot of people I grew up with that never left Virginia. I speak with a lot of people I grew up with who never had hopes of leaving Virginia, never thought it was possible. So for me to be where I am today, there were a lot of obstacles I had to overcome. My father wasn't in my life, like a lot of you here probably. My mother's very strong. That's my mother right here in the front row. I must say that I do owe a lot of that to her because she was on me in a lot of cases. But you know, you get through that stage where you think you know everything, and I just had to make a lot of decisions and be realistic with myself because singing, coming from Petersburg, when I started singing, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life as far as education, as far as a career, none of that. Singing was a dream, it was a hope. Aspiration. It was something that was so distant to me that I didn't even take it seriously. And I'm here to tell you that your dreams, they serious, like, for real. Like, cause I'm from down the road, baby. And I want to let you know that if you put forth effort, like I slept in a basement on a futon for a couple years. It flooded every other couple days. When it rained and I stayed in my producer's house, the basement would flood. And I had to wake up and we had to clean the basement, the water all off the floor. I go through like a week with like $5. Like living in New Jersey, cold, no coat. My mama called me, you got money, you alright? I know she ain't got no money to give me, so I tell her I'm alright. And like in New York, you know, it's a lot of tolls and all that. It's $6 to get into New York. It's to even cross the bridge to get in there. You gotta pay to park. You gotta pay to do everything. So I was making ends meet every which way. She'd give me $20. I'd make it stretch about a month. This when I was 17 years old. I had a Honda. My Honda I got in an accident, so one side was one color. It was gray. It was gray on one side and the whole defender, this part, and it had a dent in it, like a mean dent. The windows ain't rolled down. And if you did roll the windows down, you was stuck. Like you had to push it up like this is just a couple years ago, baby. So before I got my deal, because I moved to New Jersey when I was 17 years old. I got my deal when I was 19. Within that year and a half, I recorded probably 70 songs. After I got my deal, which was in 2003, right? 2004. My album came out almost 2 years later. The label was rearranged. The people that actually signed me, a lot of them had got fired. And I don't know if y'all know what's going on with the music business, but it's been downsizing for the last 5-6 years. And what happens when somebody that's invested in your project gets fired, new people come in that may not be as invested in your project. So my project wasn't a priority as much as this person or that person. And when my first album came out, I didn't do what I wanted to do. Like, I went through a lot of adversity. I went through a lot of people wanting to change who I was musically. A lot of people putting their views on who I should be, what they wanted me to be. So the first album I came out with wasn't truly and genuinely all of what I wanted it to be. The marketing was short. I went through a lot of hard times just as far as believing in myself and having to be my energy. Because I do shows, it was 10 people. Like when I first came out, I'd have to sing like it was 1 million folks in there. And like I went through a lot of people not believing in me. You know, I done watched, Chris Brown used to open up for me. Neo used to open up for me. I done watched all of them blow and sell. And not to say that they aren't deserving of anything they have, but just to show you what I've been doing and how long I've been putting work in this game. I've written songs for Gerald Levert, Patti LaBelle before my album came out. And just in a lot of cases, I'm looked at as an underdog in this music industry. And a lot of y'all may not feel like y'all are underdogs in life. And like, I'm here to let you know, because every step I go, it's a hater. You know what I mean? And what you have to learn, because a lot of people use that term loosely, and people talk about haters, you know what I mean? But what you have to do is turn that hate into motivation for yourself. I get excited when I see people want me to do bad, because there's a lot of people out there that, as the officer said earlier, it's people, well actually the Commonwealth Attorney said, it's people that do things for no purpose. You know, some people that just evil-hearted, evil-spirited, just don't want to see other people do good because of whatever they got going on with themselves. But if you believe in yourself, and no one else has mentioned this here, but I'm sure everyone feels the same way, you got to believe in God first. And, hey, I can sing, but without God, my talent is nothing. And I truthfully feel that if you really put your mind to anything, and this sounds so cliche because people are saying it all the time, but I live it, baby. If you put your mind and your heart to it, if you go hard at what you really want, you let whoever's saying whatever stick to the side and don't indulge in that. Because I got myself into some trouble, you know what I mean, in a couple cases where I may have did some things that I shouldn't have done. I let people incite me. I let people get me in a place where I don't want to be. And what you learn as you grow older, self-control is probably one of the strongest traits you could ever have in life, is control of yourself, knowing what to do when you want to do it. Not because somebody say something to you, you go and punch them in the face. And that ain't cool. And you actually a much stronger person if you could walk away from that. And that sounds like some punk shit. I talk for real. Like, I'm here with y'all. Like, and that sounds like a lot of folks in here would be like, that ain't cool. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody gonna disrespect me, this, that, and the other. But if you can walk away from that, instead of letting it escalate to something where you end up in the hospital, you end up dead, they end up in the hospital dead, or you in jail, that's 5 minutes of your life that turn into the rest of your life. So I just ask that y'all make better decisions and think about everything you do. Excuse me for cussing, I just got really emotional about that.
Thank you, sir. All right, let's get a question over on this side of the room. Hold on, hey. We can see the hands, we're good.
Hello. Okay, this is for any of the panelists, and my question is, what are the steps that you are making in making diverse communities better with their peace?
Well, one of the steps I make, because the reason why I have to really make a